Hi, my name is Avi. I have a stroke, so it's hard to communicate. And you are,
I'm Judy, and I'm a speech language pathologist, and I work at the Adler-Aphasia Center in Maywood, New Jersey.
Maywood. That's right. That's right. And is what? Where else did you? Where did you? Where are other places in New Jersey as well?
So we have some satellite centers that are one is in West Orange, New Jersey,
Hmm.
and a new one that opened up in 2019 is in Toms River, New Jersey.
Uh,
And we have programs there for folks who have aphasia.
and Tom Rizzers is how much people? Like 5 people, 15 people?
Um, I don't know the exact head count for Tom's River. It's somewhere between 6 and 10, I believe, at this time.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. And uh 10 people, 10 places as well is a small, right? How much time? Where?
So,
Where, but
well, the places that you're talking about, we call them aphasia communication groups.
okay.
And so instead of having a several hours a day program, this is a much smaller program for people who want to get together and have a conversation with other people who have aphasia. And we originally just started in Maywood,
Hmm.
but over the years, we've spread out to about 10 different places throughout New Jersey. So we have quite a few of these aphasia communication groups that meet 2 times a month, usually. And folks can have conversations and socialize for about 2 hours every time we meet.
Very nice. Very nice. Very, very cool. Um Exciting as well. Yeah.
It is very exciting. It's very exciting to see the program get bigger and spread out.
Good. Is amazing. But also, I mean, how much Mike and Danny, Mike and Daniels, Daniel, I have a phages,
Uh,
so
Can I give you a hand?
yeah, I think so. Yes, please.
Okay. So our founders are Mike and Elaine Adler.
Right.
And Mike was somebody who he and Elaine owned a business, a manufacturing business in Maywood. And Mike unfortunately had a stroke
Hmm.
that resulted in aphasia. And he went through rehab and he was going through therapy to get better and improve his speaking and his language. And at some point, doctors told him, well, that's pretty much as far as you'll be able to go. But
How long ago is it? How,
it was before 2003. This was before 2003 when he had his stroke, and he just wanted to keep going and improving. So he and Elaine traveled around the world to
around.
find the best. Yes, they went to Canada,
Uh-huh.
they went to Israel, they went to different places to find out what kind of aphasia programs there were around the world. And they started the Adler Aphasia Center in 2003. And it's kind of a different approach to helping folks who have aphasia improve their communication and support their communication.
How, where, what different approach? So,
So that's really it's really a very unique way of doing it. It's called the life participation approach to aphasia, or as we speech language pathologists always like to shorten everything, LPAA. And it's kind of based on the idea that when you have a stroke and you have something like aphasia happen to you, a lot of times it changes your life, right? And you're laughing, you're going, yeah, right? Because you have a plan. You think you're going to do one thing, and then all of a sudden you have aphasia. It's harder to communicate.
Just a little tiny.
Just a little bit, yeah. So this approach kind of recognizes that occurs. And what we try to do is we try to increase people's participation in life, get back to your ability to do things in life like you used to before.
So I go to speech pathology in New York City, and it's different. Why is it different for LTT? That one.
LPAA?
Michael, yes.
Well, most speech language pathology is done on a one-to-one basis.
Right.
And it's great because you can really focus on very specific difficulties you're having with your language, and you can work on those things one-to-one with a speech therapist. At the Adler Aphasia Center, what we do, we're more of a social organization, and we're not necessarily trying to make your speech and language better. We're trying to increase your ability to participate in life. So have conversations with people. However, that conversation, whatever way you converse. So it can be with words and sentences. It can be through gestures. It can be through writing or drawing. All things that are involved in communication, because all of those things are part of communication.
Okay.
And also, being able to converse, you're involved in what's going on in the world around you. You could talk about what's happening in the world. You can talk about things that you never knew about before. And we have all different kinds of groups that try to present different interesting things for people to do who have aphasia.
Interesting. And also like OT and PT and stuff like that as well, like occupational.
We don't have therapists who are occupational therapists or physical therapists at the Adler Aphasia Center.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times the members who belong to our groups have individual occupational therapy or physical therapy outside of the Adler Aphasia Center. So that kind of individual therapy along with the group therapy, they balance each other out. It's nice to have both.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Very, very cool. And so what do you do in your play, not the play, the 4 hours, and what do you do?
So usually in our Maywood Center, it's a little bit different for West Orange and Toms River, but in our main first center in Maywood, we usually have our members meet 2 times a week in person.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll meet Mondays and Wednesdays,
Okay.
or they'll meet Tuesdays and Thursdays in person.
And is different or the same?
There might be slight differences between the groups, but more or less the idea is the same.
Okay.
And the members come, usually they start coming around 10 o'clock. We have a little cafe. They'll sit in the cafe and have something to eat, and they can chat on a informal basis. At 10:30, we start our groups.
Mhm.
We break for lunch at 12:30, and members go into the cafe and have lunch. And then we resume our last group of the day at 1:15, and we're finished at 2:15.
Oh,
And during that time, we have 3 groups that meet.
and what do you?
Now,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, of course, things are different because of COVID,
Right. Of course.
but I'm going to put that aside. This is what we usually do when
Yeah.
things are quote unquote normal.
Yes, I know. The virus is. Oh, you know what? The virus is there. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna go to stab the virus.
If only it were that easy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have the kinds of groups that we have. Some of them are just conversation groups where, we talk about anything, just like anybody would have a conversation. Could be about what's going on in the news. It could be about personal things. It could be about just any topic that comes up.
Okay.
We have things like an exercise group because we don't have PT or OT, but it is important to move around, and that's a healthy thing for people to do. So we do offer an exercise group.
Really?
We also offer groups that are conversational, but they will revolve around a theme.
Like what?
So, for example, a theme, it might be history. One of the themes might be history. Another theme could be famous people. So we could talk about celebrities or famous political leaders or famous people in history or famous people in music. So we have a lot of groups that are kind of theme-based.
Okay.
Now, we also have some groups that are really, really unique. And one that's a big draw for a lot of our members, we call it Animal Planet. And that's just our fancy name for it, but it's a group that's about animals.
Really?
Right? And I think, Avi, have you participated in the Animal Planet group?
Twice. I did it twice, and it's amazing.
So what did you like about it?
First of all, one person or two people want they come, and a lot of people are pet them and stuff like that. So that's wonderful. And the birds and stuff like that, the predators is fantastic, but no pets at all. No,
Right.
yeah, just
Yes, they're too dangerous to pet.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, we've established some really nice connections with some animal groups, and they'll bring their animals in. So yeah, we've had raptors. So yeah, you can't touch those guys. And we've had some really like unusual animals that I don't know, like spiders and
Yeah.
smaller kind of animals that you could touch if you were interested, like a tarantula that's been devenomed and everything. Yeah.
The venom.
Yeah, they removed the venom from the tarantula so that nobody's going to get. We got to be safe at the Adler-Aphasia Center.
Thank God. Thank God.
And I think you guys went on field trips, right?
Yes. Unfortunately for me, unfortunately no, because I am Orthodox, and it's Friday and Saturday, so I'm sad for me. But a lot of people, yes, absolutely come every 1 year for 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, it varies. It kind of depends on the year, but yeah, we usually hold that group once a year.
Yeah,
Um,
very.
yeah, and and it's nice. It's nice to. I know folks have gone to the Bergen County Zoo, Vanson Zoo.
Oh,
That
really?
was one trip. Yeah, they took one trip there
I did
a
not know
couple
that.
of years ago. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was nice. Another group that we have that's very popular is something that we call WAC.
Ah, yes.
So it WAACW Adler Aphasia Center. And it's almost like a broadcasting group or like a TV station. Now you've done this, haven't you?
Yes, a long time ago, and I have pictures. Um, cone heads.
Oh yeah.
I
So
lo-
from Saturday Night Live, the
yeah,
Coneheads.
yeah, and also I forget her name. Also, very old girl, um, is black and white in the TV. And me,
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
Lucille Ball.
Yes, and she ate candy. This can.
Right. Oh, that is that's a classic. So the folks with aphasia will act out these scenes. You guys decide what you want to do,
Right.
and you'll act out the scenes, and then we take a video,
Yeah.
put it together, and then we show a couple of those videos in a semester in like a 4 month period.
It's fantastic. So
Yeah,
good. So good.
yeah.
Very,
I,
yeah.
I, I think the humor is really important to anybody's recovery, don't
Ab-
you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I laugh and a lot of people laugh hysterically, either together or separate, but laugh. But yeah, like Ed or Dennis or um, Allison laugh hysterically in whack. So yeah.
I think sometimes people who don't deal with people who have disabilities on a regular basis, when
Mhm.
you think of a disability, you feel sorry for someone with a disability. I know very few, almost no people with a disability who feel sorry for themselves. It's not part of what a
Yeah,
person who has a disability, pity is not, nobody wants pity, right?
absolutely. In fact, Chaved, right? Chaved, he says, what, not Michael. I am Michael. Um, I forget her name, his name. Only only word is Michael after the stroke. Uh, but
So,
he,
so
yeah,
you're talking about,
Shabed.
and he has a very classic kind of aphasia where he just says a single syllable. He says K K K K K.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Javed, and a lot of people would think, oh, that's how terrible. I can't imagine. But Javed is a happy man.
and he is so smart. He is so smart, and he laughs. He yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so there's a lot more to people with aphasia than people think.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And in fact, before the stroke, I was a paramedic, and I understand aphasia, but I don't really I don't know. I'm saying in the hospital, in the I have a paramedic textbook, and in the textbook, it's aphasia is 4 words, difficult in naming object correctly. And I say, okay, aphasia is no talking. Okay, that's fine. But because it's like other stuff like trauma or heart attack is very high function, high thinking. So aphasia is very small. But after the stroke, I realized a lot, and I realized actually it's three different sets of. I have broca aphasias, but you know it's global aphasias or Wernicke aphasias and other stuff, other people, other types of aphasia as well.
Yeah, there are all different kinds of aphasia,
Yeah,
and each kind of aphasia presents in a different way. And there are sometimes combinations,
right.
and there are degrees of aphasia. So Javed's aphasia is also a Broca's aphasia,
Hmm.
but his is much more severe than the kind of Broca's aphasia that you have.
And what about Wernicke
So
aphasias?
Wernicke's aphasia is an aphasia that happens in the part of the brain that is more responsible for understanding language.
Hmm.
So a lot of times people with Wernicke's aphasia have more difficulty understanding the conversation. They'll be able to say things fluently, but sometimes what they say um, doesn't make sense because they say the wrong words. It's like a word salad kind of thing. Gets a little mixed up.
Interesting. And people also are going to um, Adler Aphasia Center in Maywood.
All we have all these different kinds of aphasia
Oh wow.
at the Adler Aphasia Center. And really, there's a very famous woman who is affiliated with the Adler Aphasia Center. Her name is Dr. Audrey Holland. She's a world famous aphasiologist. She studies aphasia. And she says, for every person out there who has aphasia, each aphasia is different. It presents itself differently.
Interesting.
So yeah, so it's can be a difficult disability to deal with
Yes,
because of that, you know. And also I always like to say too that it's an invisible disability because people don't know that you have aphasia. You don't show it on the outside.
it's true.
And yeah, and when a disability is invisible, a lot of times it doesn't it's not as famous. People don't know as much about it.
Interesting.
So that's why talking about it is important.
Like now.
Like now, right? Exactly.
Excellent.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah. So sorry. So Mona, not Mona, Mike and Elaine,
Mm-hmm.
uh, many 5, 10, 15 years ago, is have the factory, not the factory, the Adler Aphasia Center is there. So then what happened is small people with
Yeah,
the.
it started out as a small group of people in 2003. So
Mhm.
we're on our 17th year of
Wow.
existence now, right? So there were a few people who started out in 2003,
Mhm.
and now we have, um, well, our because of COVID, things are a little bit
Of course.
different,
Right.
but maybe about 80, 85 people who attend our center in Maywood,
Mhm.
and then other people who attend the centers at West Orange and Toms River,
Okay.
and anywhere from 5 to 10 people at each of our 10 ACG sites.
Okay.
So we're seeing quite a few people, but there are a lot more people out there who have aphasia
Sure.
that haven't made their way to us yet. So,
But that's phenomenal. New Jersey is filled with people with disability, with people with disability aphasia. So that's fantastic. So yeah.
yeah. New Jersey, there's a lot going for New Jersey. I know we're the butt of a lot of jokes, but there are a lot of good things about New Jersey.
Okay. Interesting. So okay, so first of all, whack, and then the conversation. What else are you working on?
So we have all of these different kinds of groups, like you said, and then we had Animal Planet, WAC. Another one of our groups that is a favorite among our members is our advocacy group.
Hmm, that's right. That's right.
So you've been a part of that, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So you should explain, what do you do in the advocacy group?
I have aphasia. Come on. Uh,
Who do
basically,
you tell people? What people do you tell?
um, first of all, doctors or medical residents, but also
Mhm.
sometimes nurse or OT or PT. Um, yeah, or other together.
Mhm.
Every week or 2 weeks, a lot 10 or 20 people who is doctors or whatever come. Um, Robin, who is a researcher, takes the people to walk around and see a lot of stuff, and then uh, talking about aphasia, and then a lot of people, including for me, are going and speaking about my story, their story, whatever, and
Mhm.
they also have questions. I love questions, so a lot of people, different um, talking about different ideas or different subject or whatever. So, and then is pictures, a lot of pictures, one or two
Mhm.
pictures, and posts. I mean, Facebook has a lot of Adler Aphasia Center has a lot of pictures with a lot of different things. So it's really fun and exciting. Yeah,
So we're getting the word out about what we do at Adler and what aphasia is.
I think so. I mean, the
Yeah.
doctors and nurses, yes, absolutely, more
Yeah.
than before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's interesting what you were saying before, that your paramedic textbook had 4 words about aphasia,
hmm,
and aphasia is so much more than that.
I know.
And you can imagine somebody has a stroke, for example, and as a result of the stroke, they suddenly lose the ability to talk in the same way that they used to, or maybe understand or read and write in the same way. And they're in a hospital room, and a doctor comes to them and says, "You have aphasia." And but sometimes the doctors don't necessarily get the message across very well, because they don't necessarily know the best way to speak to someone who has aphasia.
This is true. Yeah, like a lot of doctors come to the patient and the family and speak with the family, not the patients. And that's
Right.
very hard, very hard. And
Right. It's wrong, because the patient is the person who needs to be spoken to.
yeah.
Yeah.
What did you speak, like the patient, the doctor, one or two times go talk with the family, not the people, the patient. What else did you learn also? Like,
Well, I think sometimes doctors, it would help if doctors wrote things down
hmm,
for people
okay,
as they talked.
this is
I
very good.
think it would help if, doctors are always time, they've got to go places.
And
So,
that's true. It's true.
right. But if you have to get a message across to somebody who has a language impairment, you're going to have to talk slowly
So
and
like,
you're going to have to use simple language.
so like, for example, doctors say, for example, 3 minutes, and but now after this, people with this, people with aphasia, the doctor says maybe 5 minutes because it's talking low, now talking not normal, talking normal, but also the doctor directly with the patient and discuss,
To the patient, slower,
yeah, slower, very slowly.
simple, simple language.
Hmm.
And maybe the doctor's going to have to go back and say it again.
Really?
Do you know? Yeah, because sometimes it takes more than one time to hear and understand the message,
Okay,
especially if you have a language impairment.
interesting.
So I would, that's one thing that I would encourage a doctor to do. If you're going to visit your patient once or twice or three times while the patient is in the hospital, you might need to talk about aphasia each time
Mhm.
you're there.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And in the hospital, did you also work did, in the hospital also they are speech pathology as well to work with a aphasia as well?
Yes, the speech pathologists in the hospital will work with people who have aphasia. Unfortunately, most people will be a fairly brief time in the hospital,
Hmm.
and then they'll go to a rehab center
Right.
most often. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. And that's where they'll get a lot of work done on an individual basis with the speech language pathologist.
I see.
So, and then after that, outpatient therapy.
Like Adler Aphasia Center or
Oh, well, sometimes a speech language pathologist will go to someone's home for a while
uh-huh.
and do some therapy at that person's home, or a speech language pathologist will work in a hospital or a clinic, and the person will go to the speech language pathologist there and work. But in addition, the Adler Aphasia Center is also a place that people can go to deal with their chronic aphasia.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, Adler Aphasia Center is there, but do you have other places in USA or in the world as well?
Yes, there are some places. There's a place in Baltimore. There's a place in Texas, a place in Florida, a place in Boston. There are places around the country who have a similar perspective to the Adler Aphasia Center. Every place is a little different,
Sure.
but in Toronto, there's a very famous place for people who live in Canada. And in Israel, the Adler Aphasia Center actually has a satellite center in Israel too.
Very cool.
And you've gone there, right?
Yes, yes. I think
Can you tell me about it? Because I've never been.
and also Robin as well also come. We
Mhm.
was coming. Basically, it's 3 days, 3 times a week for I think 4 hours. One is lunch. Same idea, except in talking about Israel. I mean, was speaking in Israel, in speaking in Hebrew. But yeah, um, but yeah, a lot of people, thank God, a lot of people are understand in English, so they speak broken or speaking Hebrew, English as well, and the same idea. A lot of time, a lot of people are happy and have a good time. Like, for example, now the holiday, Sukkot. I'll put Sukkot. Pay Rosh Hashanah. No. Uh, pres. Sorry. Um, Sukkot. No, Sukkot. Anyway, they have a party in.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. It's the one in the spring, right? Are you
Yeah.
talking about the one?
Yeah.
Is it Purim?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So that's like a fun holiday,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? As opposed to like Yom Kippur, which is a more serious holiday. This
Something
is
like that.
like this folks have a lot of fun during Purim, right?
Correct. Correct. So is
So
last month.
do they celebrate Purim at the Adler-Aphasia Center in Israel?
Yeah. Yeah. I went to go to Israel and I saw fun and exciting, fun and exciting, and it's a lot of costumes, a lot of costumes.
Ah, okay.
It's really cool.
And people dress up. They do dress up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
good, good.
it's good.
They're not like party poopers like my husband who refuses to dress up.
And you? And you?
Oh, I dress up.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
Actually, wait a
yeah.
second. Uh, Soon, 1 week later is Halloween,
Mhm.
Halloween party, and a lot of people. I I love it. A lot of people are having fun, and the hold on, Ro- hold on, Robin, not Robin. Hold on. Um, Jeanette, Jeanette, 1 year ago or 2 years ago, when and he they the girl who I don't know that is ha, is a dog, is a dog, and I'm laughing, but she is don't talk, so everybody's like, who's that? And it was like, and Christine whatever says meow 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 or whatever. So,
So Jeanette was just retired recently, but she was one of our lead speech language pathologists. She was very committed to her Halloween costume.
yeah. That's so funny. And I have a question. And the play, do you have
Ah,
play as well?
oh my gosh. It's probably our most beloved group is our drama club. So we do it during the
Okay.
summer semester. And every year, the Adler-Aphasia Center, except this past summer,
Right,
sadly, because of
right.
COVID, the Adler-Aphasia Center puts on a play, and the members cast themselves in the play. They vote on who they think should play each part. And for a semester, um, we rehearse the play,
For how long?
and our semesters are about 15 weeks. So in 13 to 14 weeks, we rehearse the play. In that short amount of time, we get it ready, and we put on a production,
Really?
and family and friends are invited to see it with costumes, makeup, set, props.
Wow.
It's a full-scale production. Yeah.
And what about the people who has aphasia? Is uh the the guy, the people, the talking, listening with the, what does it say? I forget the name. The sheet.
Can I help you?
Yeah,
The
please.
script?
Yes, the script.
You talking about the script?
Yeah,
Yeah. So you would think, oh, people with aphasia can't do a play. Well, that's not true, right? Because the script is aphasia friendly.
right.
So the idea of the play is kind of made into simplified language,
Okay.
and the people who are performing in the play practice their script with each other and with the speech language pathologists,
With the strip, and
and then they memorize
really,
and they perform it without the script. Yeah.
wow, that's insane.
It it's pretty, sometimes people forget their lines, but that happens with anybody doing a play.
This
And
is
so
true.
the play must go on, and
No, this is
they
true.
work it out. Yeah.
Very, very
Yeah.
cool. So,
Yeah.
like, Ken, I think Ken is,
Hmm.
he was a lawyer, right? Lawyer? Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
And he, first of all, he's so funny because every time he said, nope, 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 but he's very smart and he's focused. He's focused.
Yes. We have people who probably would never have done a play before having aphasia. And now that they're attending our center, all of a sudden they've discovered that they have these great skills as a performer,
It's
you
true.
know? Um, think of one of our members, Bill, who was a coach. He was a coach, a football coach,
Hmm.
big into sports. I
Yeah,
don't think you could have paid him to get on a stage.
this is true.
And now every year he performs in our drama club production.
And also,
And he's great.
Ed Morgan. Ed Morgan.
Another person,
That's insane.
right? That who knew that he had such skill as an actor,
And
that he was so good.
he's he's so focused, even more
Mhm,
than Ken, but focused like,
mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
very, very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So it's has been one of our most successful activities that we do at the AdlerAphasia Center. Um, and even for the members who don't want to perform,
Mhm.
it it's a big highlight of the year to be able to watch their friends performing in the play. So it's something for everybody. The people who like to perform, there are people who really, really like it and they do the bigger parts, and there are people who like it, but they're happy kind of just being in the ensemble
Right.
and being, they do it. And then the audience members, our members with aphasia and their family members love to come and see the performance.
And also, um, Ed has two uh, uh, family, and they are in the play, slightly um, like I forget the girl who is she was she is a nurse a long time ago. She, yet last year or 2 years ago, went uh, um, prancing with the guy, sings like a melody, like a musical. Musical.
Hmm.
Yeah, I I remember that. Uh, musical. Like 1 minute, she is dancing with the guy, dancing. Yeah, very very cool.
Yeah. So some of the family members help out too, like backstage,
That's
and
right.
they help out with props
Right. Right.
or, doing other things. So there's always a lot of work for everybody to do.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So Adler Aphasia Center is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It is. It is an amazing place. And we need to talk about now what's going on during COVID-19.
Okay.
So, we can't meet in person. It's because it's not safe for everybody.
Right.
So we're doing everything, almost everything that we did in person, we're doing online on Zoom meetings during the week.
So
So we're still conversation groups.
okay.
Let's see. Let me see my list here. We're still doing conversation groups. We're doing an exercise group.
Really.
We still do the theme groups like this.
Okay.
Um,
And
Instead of WAC, we're doing an aphasia video group. So every 2 or 3 times in the semester, we'll make a video of people talking about aphasia or other things, and we put that on.
okay.
And we're not doing advocacy because we can't invite
Sure.
medical people in. They're pretty busy right now,
Yeah.
but we're doing a similar kind of thing. Um, we're starting a program called Aphasia Coach, and we're sending letters to a rehab center that when they get a patient who has aphasia and they're new to aphasia,
Mhm.
they can get one of our letters that kind of tells them to, you know, keep your chin up. Everything's going to be okay. You know, you're doing okay. Don't worry. You're not alone. There are other people like that. So
Yeah.
we're kind of substituting this idea for our advocacy right now.
And I think yes, tomorrow is in India is a speech pathology. I It's a long name. Uh, do you know her name or you don't know?
Yes. So we're going to do a Skype
Uh-huh.
with, or maybe it's going to be all on Zoom. I think it's going to be all on Zoom, but
Okay.
um, her name, she's a speech language pathologist, and her first name is, whoops, I spelled that wrong, Pushpa.
Push,
And
push.
her last name starts with an R. And I
Yeah.
Ramachandran, something like that. I think I have it wrong, but Pushpa. Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be really interesting to talk with her because the culture in India is different, and I imagine that there are some things that are the same for folks with aphasia and maybe some things that are different. I don't know,
Okay.
but it should be interesting. And also, I heard some good news that in India, their COVID cases were really bad. They were going up and they're starting to come down now. So that's good news.
That's good. And
Maybe,
in Israel as well as well, we'll see, but slowly getting less than yeah. So good. Yeah, exactly. But that's yeah. All right. That's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah, yeah. I I feel very lucky to work at the Adler Aphasia Center.
Why
Um,
is that?
well, the people I work with are wonderful. I love working with the people who have aphasia. Everybody is so interesting, and it makes me I'm kind of amazed how we've all belonged to this community, and this terrible thing happens called aphasia.
Sure.
But out of this terrible thing, we all enjoy being together and getting to know each other. And so something very good came out of something that was really not such a good thing. And I feel very lucky to be part of that.
And I think you too is, I think I'm happy because yes, yes, because I am, yes is going to AdlerAphasiaCenter, so it's wrong, but it's the same idea in Zoom, and a lot of people, maybe uh, 5, 6, 60 or 70%, 60 or 7 people are coming and having fun together. So it's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
I agree. I agree.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so, so much, Joanna. I think Joanna. I don't know about that, but
It starts with a J. It's okay. Judy.
Juliana Lafla.
Good enough.
And thank you for Adler Phage Center. It's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I enjoyed our conversation, Avi. Thanks.
Thank you.